Welcome, everybody, back to another round here in Lorcana. We have a wonderful match going on here in the feature match area between John and CJ. It's going to be a very exciting matchup here, folks. What are you looking forward to in this match? I personally am most looking forward to maybe seeing how these players are going to establish. I know for a fact that John is running Ruby Amethyst control. I'm not 100% sure what CJ is running yet, but we will see here today.
I definitely think that the thing I'm looking forward to is seeing how Ruby Amethyst is going to fare against a Steel Sapphire deck we just saw. We just saw in the last matchup the capability that it had to ramp, not only ramp fast, but ramp efficiently and have a lot of big threats on the board. So seeing that CJ is playing that, I definitely am excited to see if Amber and Ruby Amethyst, have the ability to answer back. Because usually when they start to shine, that's when his deck starts to shine as well.
Hey, thank you so much, Bar, for your Prime subscription. Yes, I've just confirmed with the deck list, and people in chat are saying it as well. CJ is on Blue Steel, so we're going to see Blue Steel versus Ruby Amethyst control here. Two very interesting matchups. Let's see here. So yeah, it looks like we have, pretty similar deck list to the last one. We see somewhere in the middle. So like we saw 2 versus 4 Beast Hard-Headed, 2 versus 4 Smash. We have 2 Smash here. We have, looks like 3 Beast Hard-Headed, and we do have the 4 Bell Strange but special in CJ's list. Here for John C, we have on Ruby Amethyst control, he is playing Brooms. We have 3 Brooms and looks like some Mickeys as well. He is on 4 Ursula, which is going to be interesting. You don't see that card as much, but especially as a 4 of, that's very fascinating.
I almost never see it as a 4 of, so seeing 4 of is huge for that card. But he clearly likes it and likes what it can do on it, so that's really dope.
And we have a lot of subscriptions in the chat. Thank you guys so much. Technofi, Zubrin Alpha, Deck of Many Things. Thank you guys so much for all your support here on the stream for this 1K tournament.
Appreciate that. Hype train pulling into the station. We're hype here as well. We've definitely been ready for this matchup as we get into the later end of this tournament. We're going to see these players really duking it out for that top 8 finish, and I think here this could make or break either one of these players for potentially making that. So definitely a big match coming out of both of these players for both of these players.
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to get right into this first match. John inking and simply playing a Shield of Virtue here on turn 1.
Very good start as far as with Ruby Amethyst. They usually won't play anything on the first couple turns, so being able to set up early those item cards, that's really what you want to do. Absolutely. CJ passing after just inking. Usually you'll see the Ruby Amethyst not get that value, but now they're getting more value out of their first early turns than CJ, putting him slightly on the defensive as we start out this game.
Going to ink the second Shield of Virtue here. Yeah, the Gaston going to put in some work here in the early game. Shout out to Kreegan X. Thank you for your subscription, and thank you for the shout out to me. Hey, I hope you're doing well. And thank you, Ashley Venn, for your subscription. Lots of subs in the chat. Epic, very hype match here.
Hype.
John of Team Alpha Gaming versus CJ here. Gonna play the friends on the other side to draw. Slow start here from both these players. Both these decks have a very slow and ramping nature to them, right? So it's going to be a little bit before we see any sparks fly. I'm seeing a Kronk in hand by CJ. That I've never seen
all coming together.
Anybody play that card. That was very. Did you have that like it's prepared in the chamber? like
I love Emperor's New Groove. It is by far one of my favorite movies.
All right, we're gonna see the Fishbone Quill here from CJ.
A double Kronk. They said 2 Kronks in his hand. I usually don't ever see Kronk, and now you see it more of it, and more Cusco cards coming out soon, so I love the Emperor's New Groove stuff, but yeah, I love to see that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, gonna ink the Archimedes here. Again, John on Team Archimedes. I think I have to agree that it is the play over Tibbs. We do see the Maleficent simply drawing a card here.
I think the Archimedes is good because it gives you that mystique of you don't know exactly what I'm playing with it, but I think that I'm a weirdo, and I love Pascal.
Yeah.
I think that Pascal is a really great card, but it does not fit into the Ruby Amethyst playstyle, and I get why it doesn't make as much play. However, some decks run it, and I think that it's so strong for a deck that normally gets no lore to constantly be getting that one tick of lore.
Absolutely. It would be really interesting to see it in a more aggressive version of the deck with a more evasive, kind of like we saw at the beginning with Jerry. Gonna play the evasive creatures like the Mickey Mouse, Brave Little Tailor, the Pongos, and the Goofies. Maybe Pascal is your one drop instead of Archimedes or
the decks that lean into the evasive, I think for sure. And speaking of evasive, we get Pongo in the field, so we are going to get some of that unanswered action on top of being able to quest with safety if wanted to with the shield. So a lot of safety with power coming out of John right now, which is really strong start. CJ with the Fishbone Quill on the field, he's got a good amount of ink in the tray and a ton of card options in hand to do stuff with.
He's still definitely putting down threats though. You know, that Maleficent Uninvited, that now not going to let John just easily let up. There we go. We got the grab your sword, and that's going to pretty much wipe the board for John here.
Yeah, he really committed to the board right there and get punished by that steal. And it's really, it's kind of funny to see Ruby Amethyst taking the beating from a board wipe. You know what I mean? That's usually their shtick.
Absolutely. Going to play the friends on the other side here. And, it looks like he did draw that Ursula. Ursula's Cauldron coming out. Yeah, John's list is very interesting because of those 4 Ursula. You know, those are big willpower creatures.
I think that Ursula, again, not only being it's huge booty, you know, no pun intended, or but she is a 2/8 with 3 lore. You have to answer that. You can't not answer that, and it becomes really tough when she also takes away a little bit, steals a little bit of your lore, like she stole Ariel's voice.
Though I have to say, if any deck is prepared to remove characters with large willpower numbers, it's Sapphire. You know, drop a Hades, that thing's gone, you know. 100%. And we're seeing the Bell strains, but I mean, we have a lot of lore on board for CJ here, right? So basically, John has to find a way, maybe whether that be a be prepared, something to deal with these threats.
Yeah, 100%. Just real quick, I want to say, everybody, thank you so much for all those subs, the 6 new subscribers. We appreciate you very much. Thank you for all that love and affection. As we go into the next turn of this here matchup, we haven't seen the Kronk play yet, but I'm ready to see Kronk on the field at this point.
CJ has multiple Kronks in hand, too.
Yeah, and he hasn't inked them, so which makes me think, like, with having 2 in hand and you haven't inked them yet, you're probably actually thinking about playing some of that Kronk, getting some Kronk in your life.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think I'm here for it. I think that the little Tinkerbell right now being a potential fake threat for a shift target for John, I think that's going to be something that could also be played.
Absolutely. Going to draw the Maleficent here. Well, I think also whether Baby Tinkerbell is the right play here is going to be completely dependent on how many inks are in the inkwell for CJ at the moment. So it looks like he has 5 ink. So that's rampable. Yeah, I think maybe you do play the... I actually don't know how much Kronk costs. Do you know?
I think it's either 5 or 6, but I think it's 6.
Yeah.
I think he's in a vanilla 6, quest for 2, and he's a 6/5.
Yeah, he has a really high stat line because he's vanilla. I remember that.
And it's interesting how, like, you know, sometimes you don't see a card because it doesn't have any extra, but it doesn't mean it's a bad card. It just means that somebody has put more value in a different card, but he's still a great body on the field. He's strong.
Absolutely. And if I'm CJ here, I think I play the Beast hard-headed as soon as possible. That Ursula's Cauldron is very dangerous. Does he have
big lore swing right there because he had the 10 ink with the bell, so he's able to go up. It looks like all the way to 13. He does have the 10 ink?
Oh my goodness.
And Kronk is a 6/6/6. So
does he have the 10 ink?
I believe he does. He got 3/3 and I believe 4 right there. I'm pretty sure he does.
Yeah, I don't see why he would quest with it if he didn't.
Yeah.
So.
And that's just a massive swing right there. He's got their lethal is for sure on the board at this point. He's gonna have to be answered.
But John has the be prepared.
Oh, brutal. Looks like he was able to quest to give him at least a 1 extra lore with that Maleficent. Not anything like the quest with the Elses that we saw earlier, but definitely still a great move. Able to kind of balance the field. That had to do it. There was no other option. CJ was about to run away with it.
Yes. So I guess the chat is saying that the play here is Kronk over Cerberus. Interesting choice there. I guess the extra point of power there is important.
I think Cerberus is a 5 that
or is it
is a 5 cost, and I believe he is a 5/6.
Yeah, I want to say he's a
possibly.
5/6 stat line. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if he quests for 2. He only quests for 1. Yeah, so I think that it definitely would make more sense if for what it's using. 100% agree with CJ on that one. That would be the right play. And I think that as you see these decks evolve and as you see the play kind of go on throughout the rest of the season, you notice how it started out as Cerberus, weeks 1 through, however, and now it starts to maybe shift as we go into this next lineup to other things. And I agree. I think that it's a much better choice over Cerberus.
Now, I just saw John's hand, and it looks like a monster of a hand right here.
Another Be Prepared back to back.
And I think he might have another in hand as well.
Oh, he's got
a dragon.
The answers. Oh, my goodness.
He has answers in hand. So this is going to be a little bit tough for CJ, though he is already at 13 lore, so... It's just a matter, if he has the whole new world in hand, maybe, or something along those lines.
If he had the whole new world, or if he could top deck whole new world right now, that would be huge. He obviously did not right there. Looks like he pulled a Maleficent. That Be Prepared really slowing him down. He is committing to the board again, not aware of the threats in the John's hand. That's not good. He's completely out of hand right now.
What do you get rid of the cult. Did he play the beast and not get rid of an item?
No, he did. Yeah, no. Well, I think he maybe missed out on. I don't think he's not paying attention. And if I'm John, I'm not telling him.
Yeah, no, of course not. Yeah, but you should definitely get rid of that Shield of Virtue.
There it is. Okay,
there we go.
Okay. He's like, wait a minute, hold on, I forgot about that. John's like, okay, well, I wasn't gonna say anything. Yeah. Yeah, that was close. He almost missed that beast trigger. That would have been huge. I'm not going to lie. The tournament, I won top 4 and because they didn't hit their aerial singer trigger. So you got to pay attention on those things.
Absolutely. Okay, the double beast trigger, that's really good. Getting rid of John's items here, but this is still going to be really hard for CJ.
He's got the Maleficent on field, so he could potentially sing and then go ahead and be prepared to get rid of everyone else. I don't know if he wants to do that just yet, but he does have to answer CJ pretty much consistently, and there's the whole new world. Getting rid of that last Be Prepared, that's huge.
He played that beast this turn, though, did he not?
No, he had one beast from the previous turn.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
No, that's a good call, though, but he did have that one dry, and then this was the new one.
Okay.
So a crazy top deck, though.
Yeah.
He top decked the beast, which was huge, and then he top decked the whole new world to give him a fresh refill. So CJ went from a little, almost on the ropes a little bit, even at 13 lore. It started to kind of push back, and then immediately just right back on his feet, ready to go.
Yeah, and he did throw out another Maleficent Dragon that way. Again, this is not good for John. I mean, and it usually never feels good to whole new world against Ruby Amethyst, but I think in this case it's a
necessary.
This is a little dangerous. We're talking. He has 4 lore on board. That's a 2-turn clock for John here.
Yep.
Let's see if he can actually. It looks like he does have an Ursula and Elsa and a pocket watch.
CJ's nodding. He's definitely not unhappy with his hand. I think he's good with it. I think he's liking what he sees. I think it's on John's turn now. Looks like John is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 lore, or 11.
Do you play Elsa here? Yep. I guess he does.
100%.
And then tap those down, and now you're threatening 5 lore a turn. You can hopefully get rid of those. But oh my goodness, did you see that? He has 2 Bell's Strange but Specials, CJ, in hand, along with a Robin Hood if he ever needs advantage. Or if John tries to play any of his evasive characters, he'll just have Robin Hood there to deal with that. He has a Maleficent uninvited. So,
knowing that he got rid of 3 Be Prepareds, do you just throw the bells down and say, what can you do?
I think you keep something like the Maleficent in there so you don't overcommit, right? But I think you're pretty much safe to just play as many bells as you possibly can, because if John does not have a response to both of them, you just straight up win.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's a certain time when you have to just kind of really step on the gas, and you gotta say, you know what? Okay, now's the time. Now the kill shot's coming in.
Absolutely.
I really feel like this is that moment. I'm very curious to see what CJ does right now. He has everything in his hand. He's got options for days. That's where you want to be this late in the game for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't count John out. He definitely still has a lot of answers, but this is looking like it might be going towards CJ's direction.
Develop your brain so late game. Crazy. Very interesting pick.
Hades there.
Oh, you definitely
gotta
take the Hades.
Yeah,
100%. You already got the Robin Hood.
Yeah, you got to Hades out that Elsa or that Maleficent, one or the other. I think in this case you definitely do the Elsa. The threat of I was going to say the threat of a Shield of Virtue, but I think he inked the second one, so I think we might actually not have to worry about that anymore. But
okay. Yeah, I think that right now it's a little bit late to be throwing down on the Shield of Virtue play with as far as I don't believe he's running the Aladdin heroic in here.
He's playing 4 of them.
4 of the that's the
big Aladdin.
That's the big. Okay, so yeah, no, I mean it still would have a lot of value then at that point to be able to ready him up and attack twice. That's a 4 shift and lore in 1 turn. That's big.
And I think if I'm reading John's deck list here correctly, he does not play the baby Aladdin. I feel like that card's kind of got dropped out of favor a little bit.
Which is interesting. I thought it was a very good card taking the lore away and then also being a shift target. But yeah, it's definitely I haven't seen it at all, not once today.
Yep. And so we simply see the Hades come down, do what we thought they'd do, play the bell, but it gets immediately dragon fired.
And I believe the Hades got rid of a Maleficent Dragon? I didn't see who the Hades targeted.
He targeted the Elsa.
The Elsa, that's right, that's who it was, yes, okay.
So then...
so big clear right there, able to get both big threats off the board in 1 turn, as well as bring himself back on the board with the Hades. I mean, he's not just a throwaway body. He's tough.
And he does have the Maui for when Hades comes out, so he is going to play the Ursula. CJ's going to go down to 12 lore with that, draw a card.
Now, this is where those Ursulas can really start to be a pain in the butt because they're going to be putting up 3 lore. They're going to be taking away lore. You're going to be replenishing her. She's like a really big sister to Maleficent. You know what I mean?
Yep. Ursula is what you want here if you're John. It's probably one of your best responses. And if he tries to swing in any way with that Hades, you have the Maui in hand to deal with that. It's tough, man.
Yeah, he's got some options there. I wonder what he's going to choose to play. I guess at this point, I don't know, maybe pull off the gas a little bit and see, because I think if he puts out too much too fast, I mean, he could get completely wiped out now because he lost his kind of advantage.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he does have Beast Mirror, but like,
doesn't look like he's going to be getting down to the Beast Mirror playable.
This is like a really close. This is a really close match. So he quested with the Hades, going to 14. Plays the Robin Hood. Does he have less cards in hand? I think he has to, right? Yeah, so he draws a beast off that.
Another beast. That's great. Man, most people are only running 2 of the beast, and it looks like he is
running 3.
3 of them. So he's got all three on there. So that's, I mean, it's always great when you only run when you run a smaller amount and you get all of them.
Yep,
you're like, it's kind of what I was hoping for. Double Beast Mirror on the field. I don't know if I love that play too much, just because I personally feel like it's a clunky card draw, but it's something.
I mean, it's not terrible with Fishbone Quill, because if you play it, you draw the card, you don't like it, you simply Fishbone Quill it away, use the other one. But again, yeah, I mean, you do have a ton of ink in play at this point, but you don't want to like depend on wasting half your inkwell just to draw 1 card, right? So
Stopwatch coming out.
It will prevent complete top deck mode, though. That's the one good thing.
That is very true, and I feel like that is something that he's preparing for. He just looks like he's far enough away from top deck right now to where maybe it doesn't look as appealing.
Yep.
But I mean, he may have also not had much other play in his hand.
Looks like he might be. Yeah, he pocket watches Aladdin, so he's going to go down to 12 lore. John's going to go up to 4.
It's going to get 3 damage on the Aladdin, so he will be able to be taken out by the Robin Hood if he so chooses, which will...
Trade, though.
It will trade, for sure, but at least that way he can pretty much freely quest with the Bell. The Ursula is not going to be able to take out the Bell, and that puts him puts him at lethal, but it also puts him at a really close win condition.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that Ursula taking away that 1 lore is actually extremely game deciding here, because otherwise CJ would simply be swinging for lethal.
Yeah, that's a great point, because the Ursula right there literally was the thing stopping him from having lethal, but now it's stopping him from a lot more than that.
So it looks like he has a smash in hand. So I think you simply smash the Aladdin to prevent the lore loss, and then you just start turning things sideways.
I agree with that. Yeah, it looks like he definitely is going for the lore. It looks like he's going to go up to 19 and then smash in the Aladdin.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the best play for him right there with that. So that looks like it might solidify it for him at 19. We'll see if John has an answer for him, as
John has to have the beat prepared.
And he's going to go ahead and play it all out.
I don't know if that's a good play on CJ's part. If John happens to have that 4th beat prepared, he might just come right back into this.
Oh, man, that's a really bold strategy. But he does. The good news is he's got stuff that's not, he's going to have to use either Be Prepared or Removal. I think John did a little heart of the cards moment right there because he knew he was going to have to draw that Be Prepared, and I think that right there it is, the handshake. That's round 1 of the 5th round of here at this 1K at Versus Games between John and CJ.
Going up 1-0. Now, John is going to struggle a little bit because he is playing, again, that Ruby Amethyst deck. So playing 2 wins in a row right after losing the first round, especially since that game took a little bit longer considering what decks they're each playing, it's going to be really hard for John to come back here and win 2 games, but nothing is ever said and done.
The bane of a Ruby Amethyst player is time.
Yep, you're always in a competition against time and luck, right?
That's like life.
Yeah. Lorcana is just a metaphor for life. And that's what we're experiencing here today.
100%. I do think that, luckily these decks are geared toward being able to handle the other player, but unfortunately the other player shines in the later half of the game, and like you said, with that being the case, John's going to have to do something crazy to turn it out fast enough to get it done. And I think that CJ has the advantage now going into this next game by a lot. Time and just it seems like almost in deck, it seems like the Steel Sapphire might have more of a favorable matchup going into the Amber Amethyst deck.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we're seeing, we have a lot of Ruby Amethyst at the top of the leaderboard here. So Sapphire Steel might be able to pull out a win here at this 1K today.
That would be nice. That would be nice to see. I don't think in many, if any, of the tournaments that I've seen at least have anything other than the top 2 breach the top.
Yeah.
So
you see the occasional Amethyst Emerald or Emerald Steel, but really it's just been those 2.
Yeah, and usually I only see those in like the top 4, top 8, but not like top 1, top 2 scenario. So if it comes down to going all the way to the top here, it would be interesting to see. Is somebody going to? How great would it be? Is at one of the last events for the season? One of the kings gets dethroned by a newcomer. That would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really liking the development of this Sapphire Steel deck. It kind of came out of nowhere, and now it's just like one of the best decks both in real life and on Pixelborn.
100%. And I think that it's the availability of cards is huge. You're able to get your hands on packs now, so you can make decks that maybe you couldn't make before. And I think that on Pixelborn, a lot of times maybe players are basing their decks there off of what they have in real life.
So for sure.
lack of product will affect you on both fronts.
And it's going to be really exciting, especially as this game develops, to see. I think Silver Blue Sapphire Steel is a very viable deck going into the future and going into the next sets. So happy to see it represent here at this 1K.
I gotta just shout this out. Somebody just named that deck Zoolander, the blue steel.
I love it.
I will no longer refer to it any other way. That is so good. I love that. Thank you for that.
All right, let's see if also, I'm going to be very happy if a deck with Kronk in it. Is that another full mulligan that we saw there? I think we did. We just saw a full mulligan by CJ. Man. And an almost full mulligan by... Or no, he's just taking 1 card here, so that's not too bad. But kind of polar opposite mulligans.
Yeah, and definitely I think with the blue steel, it is a super, super, super important to have the hand you need at the start of it. We saw at the previous matchup, it was actually a blue steel mirror match before this, and Lawrence had a hand that literally could not have been worse to start out with. It was unplayable, had to mulligan the whole thing, and when he mulliganed, it was another really high costing hand, and it's rough to see. So hopefully CJ was able to pull out something he can play in the first couple turns. It looks like he has a few different options.
Significantly better than what Lawrence was. He has like Inkables, he has Whole New World, so this should hopefully be a good second game here in round 5, and let's just jump into it. Going to start with a Hook Forceful Duelist here for CJ. All right, what is John going to do? Going to Inka Pongo and simply pass.
Definitely not the strongest start out of John compared to his last start. A little bit stronger, so being that last game didn't go his way, you kind of wanted to see him to have as good, if not better, start. So hopefully he's able to kick it on quick. He's got it. I mean, again, 25 minutes left for a Ruby Amethyst player to get 2 matches.
I was just about to say, it'll be curious to see if we see him speed up his play at all. So I'm seeing a Rafiki and a Maleficent in hand, but
he sure is speeding up how fast he switches those cards in his hand. But as far as the actual gameplay, I don't know if I'm CJ. Do I milk the clock a little bit? Do I think about my moves
maybe
a little bit longer?
The problem is with a deck like Ruby Amethyst, if you milk the clock, you're playing with fire.
Yeah, very true.
If you let your opponent get those Elsas, those Maleficent Dragons, those Be Prepareds, you're just putting yourself in a world of hurt, and nobody wants to draw when they can win. So, I would say probably not, actually. I think you already had enough of a time advantage that you just focus on getting the win.
Yeah, 100%. I probably agree with that. Gonna go ahead and ink a Develop Your Brain and then play a Tinkerbell. It doesn't look like he has the big Tink in hand. I might be missing that. I think that might actually be the big Tink there.
Yeah, yep. He does have the big Tink, so he'll have a shift target there next turn.
Very interested to see if the Rafiki does anything or if he keeps him safe with that threat of the big Tink. I know personally I like to keep things a little bit safer when I see the little Tink on the board. Sometimes that bites in the butt because they don't have the big Tink and it's just that threat. And I think that it's curious to see, is he gonna take that bait or is he gonna just go for it? And it looks like he just goes for it, so that is it's unfortunate. He's gonna lose both cards on this Tink drop, which is just great value for CJ.
Yep, gonna quest for 1 for John, go to 1 lore. Don't think that's really a great move, but what do you do? I think Baby Tink is honestly one of the most underrated cards in Lorcana, right? You can cycle your hand, you can shift into Big Tink, who's probably one of the best cards in all of Steel. Yeah, this is not going to be super fun. So we're going to see Rafiki go down to 1 willpower.
I just don't know. He wants to rip that whole new world, or if he wants to take the trade. I think personally the trade is the play here, and then whole new world comes next hand. I think that you have too much other options, and you didn't get enough from the whole new world. And he's gonna use the whole new world.
That is fascinating. But yeah, honestly, it's not even a trade really, because you'd have to deal with 2 damage.
Yep.
So you kill Gaston.
Yep.
But I see both sides. Leaving 3 damage on the Tink is not a great feeling. They could very easily just come in with some kind of removal, another Rafiki even.
Very true. I do think it's so hard to see him get rid of that other whole new world when he had, first of all, you didn't get the full value out of the first whole new world, and then you're burning 2 in the same play. That seems like that could be a really big value loss. Mm-hmm. And so I'm curious to see if that's something that's going to bite him in the butt as we get toward the end of this.
Yeah, I do think, CJ probably looked at his hand and determined, I need to whole new world eventually. Is that going to be now, or is that not going to be until next turn?
Yeah, it's the 2 whole new world or 2 not whole new world. That 'tis the question, as they say.
Yes, absolutely. Gonna see just some board wipes here. We do have the magic mirror now on John's side, so that he doesn't have to draw as much or focus so much on top decking. Okay, so immediately getting rid of that magic mirror with Beast, I think that's a fantastic move by CJ.
100%. He got the magic mirror off turn before he was able to use it, so literally got 0 value out of it, plus stalled him out a turn, part of a turn by playing it. So yeah, no, the Beast. I have not seen the Beast get as much play as it's getting today, and every time value. The Beast is a good card. We are definitely sleeping on the Beast. I am.
Yeah, because I think as the meta has developed, people realized Beast's Mirror, or Ursula's Cauldron, Shield of Virtue. All these cards are fantastic, and Lantern, there's cards in every color that are being played for items, and I think Beast is a really good answer to that because we don't have a lot of item removal right now.
Yeah.
All right, Pongo coming in. That's going to be something that CJ has to deal with because of that evasive. It's going to be just racking up those lore, but it does look like he has a smash in hand.
Oh, it's Kronk.
Oh, Kronk has hit the field, ladies and gentlemen.
All coming together. I've been waiting for this moment. I'm excited. This is the first time I've seen Kronk hit the field, and I'm ready to see the damage he's putting out.
Did he bring the spinach rolls? That's what I want to know.
Squeak, 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 squeaker.
All right, we had an Ursula from John here, bringing CJ back down to 0 lore. And we just have a big body. Gonna quest for that 2, go to 3 for John here. And then, yeah, I mean... All right, we might actually have John at 2 lore here. That might have been a mistake on our part. Apologize for that. But still, I mean, CJ's going to be at 1 less lore also for that Ursula. So this is a pretty good situation for John, I think. Pretty good, solid board state.
He's definitely got the advantage going into the mid-range of the game. I think that it's going to be a battle against time again for this Ruby Amethyst deck. If he can pull it out, will that be enough? Or will he have needed to do it faster? And I think that if you go into this second round, you know that you have less than 30 minutes to do 2 rounds. You have to be going quicker thought process, just flying off the handle. You know what I mean? Because otherwise you're losing either way.
Yes, and we see a Maleficent uninvited come out. Now, we're getting to the point where John has enough ink that we have to worry about Be Prepared, and I see one in his hand. I think he might actually have 2.
I do see 2 in his hand, yeah.
So
lots of answers when it comes to board state.
We don't want CJ to overextend. I understand that he's probably trying to be a little bit faster here. He is already at 6 lore after questing with Kronk here, and then, yeah, I mean, so we have 7 lore on board. That's going to put you at 13. So that's a 2-turn clock, right? So questing with the Ursula and the Rafiki here for John. That's 4. He's going to bring him to 6. And then we see the I think he quested with the Pongo as well to go to 8 because he simply played the Be Prepared.
Be Prepared.
Which, honestly, was the best move for him here.
100%. I mean, if you hit turn 7 on a Ruby Amethyst deck and you're not playing the Be Prepared, that's probably because you didn't pull it.
Yep. Absolutely. A little bit more time with that Ursula and that Pongo would have been nice, but yeah, when you're facing that, you just got to pop that Be Prepared. And then thankfully he has another one. It looks like he has a Dragonfire as well. So even if our opponent here plays Bell or it looks like he might have a Beast in hand. I'm not sure what that
He's going to
is.
play the Bell. Okay, interesting. I would have probably
the Robin. He has the Beast and the Robin Hood as well. Any of those things are really not going to be that much of a big threat to John, at least at the moment. He probably is really hoping, really wishing, I should say, that he still had that magic mirror, though.
100%. And I think that, I mean, I'm curious how this plays out for him, but that seemed like maybe in a misstep by CJ, bringing that Bell into it. When he doesn't really have a whole new world to fully replenish his hand, he's just depending on that Beast Mirror. But now he has to worry about a lot of removal, and John has it. He's got the removal. He could choose to remove however he wants to at this point.
Now, if you're John here, do you simply Dragonfire the Bell, or do you play the Be Prepared? He's going to play the Be Prepared.
I like the Be Prepared option. I think that it's quick and easy. However, I don't know if that was the better play. I would have probably maybe done the Dragonfire, just because I think that having the ability to sing Be Prepared is a lot more beneficial for you, and both those Be Prepares were just played outright, so he didn't really get full potential out of both of those, and I think that can maybe come back to bite him in the butt if you know it doesn't work out. However, CJ is top decking, and he only has the Beast Mirror to kind of keep him out of that state.
I was just about to say, I think John probably recognized CJ's hand size and said, I still have a Dragonfire if you have something crazy. Be prepared, go. And then also you have to remember that standing by for that Be Prepared is going to make John unable to really commit anything to the board, right? Because it's going to be wiped out the next turn. So just playing that first, and now he has the Aladdin, suddenly he is winning. He's in like
that's a
dominant position here.
Huge play, yeah, with that shield from the previous turn.
Absolutely.
All he needed is a pocket watch and a target.
CJ cannot comfortably quest or attack with anything now.
Looks like he has a grab your swords in hand. I don't know how helpful that is for him right now. He's gonna get rid of it. That's helpful.
Beast is putting in work this match.
I think maybe one Beast played today missed. Every other one has hit.
Absolutely wild. Looks like he drew another removal card. Is that a Dragonfire? So we can draw off the Maleficent. It looks like a Friends from the Other Side, maybe.
Gonna Dragonfire the Beast. That's good. A lot of value out of that, just because the 4/4 is tough to get through. Even with the Aladdin, that leaves him really vulnerable.
CJ's got a top deck on. The Let It Go. That's a good card.
That's a great card, I think, because that takes care of the Aladdin and just nullifies him. And that's a big lore shifter right there. I like that pull. I think that's a great grab. Only one better would have been Hades.
John's got to be feeling really uncomfortable, though. We're just about to get into the 15-minute mark. it's probably going to take him most of that to finish this out, and then unfortunately I think this might just end up being a draw. But CJ is not out of it yet.
He's definitely not out of it yet, and I think that what I'm starting to think maybe some of these players are not being as conscious of the time as they probably should be, being as both of these players really need to exit this round with a win to give them a shot at top 8 finish.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, it makes complete sense for CJ to keep going here. No need to concede because it's the same. The draw is the same for him either way, whether 100%. He concedes here or whether he loses naturally. John, however, obviously can't concede, so I think that's why we're seeing this. But it's just an unfortunate situation where John's actually in a pretty good spot here, but I just don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, I think it's. Oof. Yeah, he is in a great spot, and it's almost unfortunate to see that because then it just means that CJ may not have a chance to come out of this again. However, if there's a deck that can maybe turn it around to a different, style, maybe Absolutely. CJ has that, quick ramp aggro version of his deck ready he's just not playing it that way.
A Hades here, and he's right back in it.
Yeah.
Though
that looks like a fishbone quill, which is not necessarily what you want to see.
But he did get a let it go there, so he'll at least be able to remove the Maleficent Dragon.
I think that might be a second let it go, too, so he should have decent removal now.
Looks like a swords and a let it go.
Yeah. Interesting. He might have already used the let it go because I think he had a let it go before, so I'm not sure.
Okay, getting rid of the Maleficent Dragon as expected.
So now
CJ is intentionally slow playing to draw out time. All right, so we were discussing that potential, but okay, the Goofy there.
Oh, that's a good one. You definitely need that right now.
Ooh.
But you don't play the grab your swords, I think. I think you just go for the whole new world. I think grab your swords... Oh, but he does play it.
Well, it does... he has to have some kind of answer to these evasive characters,
I think that's the main reason he played. Less to get rid of the Maleficent, but just to help put some damage on the Goofy. It's hard when you really need to have answers and you don't have them.
John going to quest up to 12 here, it looks like. So, John putting CJ on a clock. So I actually see John very easily taking this game, but again, that puts him at 1-1, and that's quite simply not going to be enough for Ruby Amethyst to take a Game 3 win.
Taking probably the Hades.
That's a Hades.
There. Yeah.
That's what you want to see if you're CJ, is something along those lines.
You really want that for sure, especially because, develop your brain late game. You usually don't see it. Usually you see it in the early game, but that right there shows you why that card is good all year round.
Yep. Absolutely.
John doing a little bit of board management for CJ, helping him out.
All right, getting rid of that Goofy.
He's going to go ahead and pass. Definitely John with the advantage now on everything except time. Gonna play an Elsa. Dang.
Quest up to 13.
Definitely a good play. He's gonna put himself at 17 next round, putting a 2-turn clock. If no answers for Elsa, but we do think we got another Kronk in hand, and then we don't have any other answers other than the whole new world, which we do have to play. It's really our only choice.
So John's gonna lose a Be Prepared there, but the other card was simply Gaston, so I'm sure he's not too upset.
It's a great card to see. Oh, really good to see. You see both bells. That is the cards you want right now if you're CJ. That's what you need to have even a chance of coming back.
Unfortunately,
right now.
It looks like John drew a Maleficent Dragon and a Befuddle and a Be Prepared.
Oh.
So
both players getting exactly what they need. Unfortunately, that does not help CJ because he's going to have a hard time with that knows it.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely in John's favor to wait for him to play these heavy-hitting cards. Hopefully he doesn't waste his Be Prepared too early here. If he plays it here to pop these two, double bell next turn is really scary.
Befuddle to the Inkwell.
Yeah, not really super useful here in the late game.
I assume here if you're John, you you quest with the Elsa and then you Be Prepared, but I don't think you can. Oh, he's gonna go ahead and take the Maleficent out and take out the Maleficent Dragon, take out the Maleficent, and then he was gonna quest for 3, and now we just have to see if Hades and grab your swords is going to be enough to stall him out.
Yeah, we got 2 Hades, we got a big tank, we got swords, we got double bell.
At this point, if you're CJ, do you just say, oh, well, all right, now we have to get into that third game, so I want as much time as possible, or do you still try to
I think you go
salvage
for it
this
here.
one?
Yeah, you go for it here.
Okay.
I mean, if John runs out of answers, we know that he has to be prepared, but if John runs out of answers, I think he has to.
Okay, so he uses the Hades, going to take a little bit of damage, going to clear that part of the board, going to bring, now we just have to deal with the Maleficent Dragon. He has enough ink now to play one of the bells.
And he's going to do. He will do so. Now, I'm curious if this is enough for John to, because John's going to quest up to 19 here this turn. So I'm curious to see if he plays the Be Prepared.
Oh, he didn't quest first.
He did. I think.
Oh, no, you got a quest.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, no, he didn't. He sang the... You're right. He sang the Be Prepared with Maleficent.
Oh, man, I would have quested first.
I'm very confused. He has so much ink. I'm very confused.
Yeah, I don't think he has enough ink to play more, and he doesn't have enough hand to play. That is an interesting play. Well, he's got more in his hand, so he definitely could have played more. I mean, he's got lethal on the board now either way. He just wanted to make sure that there was nothing on the board to deal with. I just feel like lethal plus 19 is a little bit more threatening in my mind.
For sure. But
he still has all that ink to play with. Gonna play an Ursula.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. CJ has just steadily been losing that lore because of those
Ursulas put in work. Like, it really is annoying to have to constantly be down 1 lore.
And there's the handshake.
There's the handshake. So it's going to be a 1-1. There's only 9 minutes left on the clock. Going to be really interesting to see if these players can rush a game 3 or not.
Yeah, they got to turn it turbo, man. They got to really go fast. I think that... I mean, again, I play different when the clock starts going like this. I'm like, hey, let's there's an unspoken let's play a little wild and loose and let's just get there, at this point, because I mean, both of them would benefit from this win.
Yeah.
Neither of them benefit from a loss or a draw. So it's a lot of pressure for this match to go on. Now they do have time left in this match, plus they have the 5 rounds after time, or 5 turns after time each. So enough time potentially to make it happen still, if they really, shuffle and go.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, both of these decks really need time to get set up, right?
100%. I think that's the hardest part, is they both shine in the late game. And I think that this is when you're going to have to, do you have an early game strategy built into your deck? Do you have contingencies built into your strategy or does it just go at 1 speed? You know what I mean? Because I think that seeing some of these, seeing the deck list, I definitely think that the opportunity for quick lore is coming out of John. I think he has the potential to put lore on the board fast. It may not be his ideal strategy, but I think it's a strategy that could help him. And I think that CJ has to ramp perfectly to have that same ability. So I think a little bit of an advantage for early game lead coming out of John, which might help him, but I don't know.
Yeah, he's really going to have to really utilize those evasive characters, right? Like your Goofies, and then put out your Ursulas as fast as you possibly can. Because he's playing 3 Goofy and 3 Pongo in this, so I agree with you that he definitely has the opportunity to take an early lead, but it's going to be hard no matter what. This is likely a draw, but that's what we saw it happen before. Anything's possible, so let's not hold out too much. Let's hope that these players can get a win here on the books in round 5.
100%. And, this is still the first season of Lorcana tournaments and Lorcana official play. So there's still room for rules and things to be adjusted in the future. Hopefully in the future they institute something more whoever's on lore, that's who we're going to choose on that final round. Because I do think that would at least change the final match to be a little bit more racy and chasey, and I think a little bit more interesting than just stalling out because there was no time. So hopefully, again, we go as fast as we can to get as many turns in. I think the quicker we can get these decks to turn 7 before time, so they can have those 5 turns at turn 7 and higher, I think we'll have a real shot of seeing one of these players come away with a win today.
Absolutely, but unfortunately with these decks, it's really going to come down to what these players draw, right? And your mulligan is probably going to be very different than if it was in a different situation, you know? If there's going to be any chance at all, they really got to just like get them out there and go for it. But
100%.
sometimes your hand, when your deck is not built to operate that way, it just doesn't come together.
Definitely.
We'll just have to wait and see. But it should be exciting regardless. These seem to be two very loved players. So it's going to be fun to see who might come out on top.
100%. And I don't know if there's any Gator fans, but it looks like both their sleeve colors combined make the Gator colors. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but I feel like they should be best friends now.
All right. Gonna Inca Broom play an Archimedes and say go.
All right. That Archimedes making his debut once again. Good to have that one drop, just to have some board presence, especially now when you need that lore. You want it. One at a time is if that's what it takes. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you can definitely tell John is increasing the speed of play. Gonna quest for one here with Archimedes and simply pass after inking.
Mm-hmm.
So I do see the friends on the other side in John's hand. He does have some removal. He has an Ursula, Rafiki, so not a terrible start for John.
We are seeing a little bit of I think hopefully an awareness of time coming from both of them. The play seems to be going a little bit quicker. They both kind of know what to expect from the other at this point, 2 matches in. So the decision making hopefully a little bit quicker, a little bit easier for them. And so we can see again just more plays. The more high end we can see out of them in that last 5 turns, which is again what we're gonna get to. We're for sure gonna get to time on this one. So the more we can see out of those, the better. Let's see here as we go into, we have the shift target for the big tink, and I think that might be what we decide to do.
Yeah, absolutely. This baby tink here is, like I said, one of the most underrated cards I think in this first set.
Now I hope he doesn't a whole new world here. Okay, he doesn't. Good. He's going for the lore. I think they're understanding the time, and they know that they have to be pushing for that lore right now, and that's the most crucial thing for them. Whole new world right there. Based off the last round, probably would have been the play.
Doubling in with the Rafiki and Archimedes to get rid of that big tink. I don't hate that play by John. I think that's great. I think that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really good. I think he has another shift target tink, which might have been a decent play there, but he chooses have that lore. I want that 3 loring 6 willpower character on the field to help me out right now because it's what he's going to need. I don't know if you have a dragon. Oh, just kidding. Yes, I do. And yes, we do. That Dragonfire coming in hot. It is unfortunately going to take out that Maleficent right away. Doesn't get any value out of it. Going to have enough ink on this next turn, though, to be able to play that Tinkerbell. Not getting the Rock the Boat benefit from it, but at least getting, again, that questing body on the field that can sing songs, which we have a couple of them in our hand. So hopefully CJ can get a couple more good high
and the second Dragonfire here from John.
Oh, the answers keep coming. You don't want to really refuel that hand almost, but you have to at that point. Oh, he's showing off. Good move because I had some fire in there. Be prepared. It's good to see that go away, but I got to count these cards out.
Yeah, like if you're John here, what are you hoping for? I mean, I see an but in this situation is not what you want to see.
And it's good for stopping things and playing the deck the way it's supposed to be played. But right now, you gotta be switching gears if you want to have this end in anything other than everyone loses.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, so much. Is that double? Be prepared right there. No,
it looks.
No,
you have Dragonfire, but you also have the Ursula
and a pass with nothing.
Elsa in hand. I mean, it's not terrible. You could get out 2-3 lore questers pretty quickly, but. What are we seeing here in CJ's hand? We got Robin, we got Kronk, a lot of items, not necessarily super useful. Will we see another Kronk this round is the question.
Oh man, I really don't understand why John didn't play anything on that last one. I feel like he probably could have stood to play something. I might be seeing the hand wrong. He may not have anything that's playable, but
he might just have I think the only thing he had that was playable is the Dragonfire and with no target. I mean, I don't want to say that I manifested this into existence, but we do see the Kronk coming out on the field.
Heck yeah, that's right. That's what we like to see. I mean, I think that it's going to be fun when you start to see movie-themed decks where it's like, this is my Emperor News Groove deck. And, that's what I can't wait for.
All right, going to go back down to 1 lore for CJ with this Ursula.
All right, 2-1 it looks like for John at 2 and CJ at 1, doing a little flip of the lore there. And then we have that big body on the field now.
I think we're in less than a minute now, though. I don't know, even with the 5 turns, if these guys will be able to get to 20 lore, unfortunately. So I think we were correct in our assumption that this is just going to be a draw.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think that it looks like it's probably the case, though. And I don't see any... Again, he's going to have to just go so fast, but with all that removal in John's hand, it really doesn't allow him to speed up at all.
Yep. We've seen the Fishbone Quill here from CJ. Not a lot in his hand. Maybe that Robin Hood is like the best, or the Maleficent Uninvited, but yeah. I mean, if he plays the Maleficent Uninvited here and John doesn't have an answer, he can put him on a 4-turn clock and win in those 5 turns, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he has to be prepared.
Oh, man, yeah. So he's going to play the Robin Hood. He gets a draw off of that. Let It Go, which is great. That's definitely a great card, but with the board wipe imminent, it doesn't look fantastic for CJ as we go into this next turn. Going to go bring himself up to 3 lore now. Now we are at time, so starting now, there's going to be a clock on the turns. Looks like this will be the first turn, I believe, of...
Yes, CJ will be turn 0, and then John will be turn 1 here. I don't see a way for either of these players to win in 2 turns with this setup. Man, what an interesting end to this game. I mean, this was like that second game was really a clash there, and John really pulled it out. That's the unfortunate risk you take when you play a long, grindy control deck like this. Sometimes you just can't get the 2 wins together. You really kind of have to win. Like, losing that first game is very demoralizing sometimes when you're on control.
He was able to put 7 lore on the board. So, and then Maleficent Dragon coming down to take away 2 of that lore. Interesting that he chose to take out Kronk there. I think it's because he wanted to keep his Maleficent Dragon on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So keeping that 1 extra lore on the field versus taking it out was what he chose.
Yeah, and then there's simply not enough lore on board right now. Because CJ, so that was turn 1, so this is turn 2. So CJ essentially has this turn and his next turn, which would be turn 4. He's going to quest for 5 here, bring him up to 8. He'd have to play 7 more lore this turn. He has the Maleficent, but I don't know where that other 4 is coming from.
He's going to use it, and then he's going to have Robin Hood sing Whole New World. He is. That's what he's looking for, I think. He's wanting more of those bells, but it doesn't really matter because there's still removal in John's hand. So
yep, the Be Prepared will come out the second those bells hit the floor.
Oh, well, he did actually just lose his hand, so hold on a second.
That's right.
Maybe there's a chance. Let's see what he got. I can't tell. I don't see specifically a Dragonfire. He might have got really lucky with that Whole New World. That might have just completely saved him from... it might have given him a chance.
Yeah, I don't know if John has it, but even still, I don't think that CJ has what he needs to get to that 20. The bell is great, but...
He's got 2 bells, though.
We're seeing a lot of removal. He has 2 bells?
He has 2 bells in hand.
I missed that. That's perfect. But
I don't think he can play him this turn, though. I know he can play 1. I don't know if he... I think if I'm reading his ink right, then he has enough.
Well, if he plays the 1, he can ink a second time. So, will that be enough?
What is that? I think he's getting it together right now. He might be playing both. That looks like he's getting enough ink to play both. 1 bell, 2 bell. There it is.
Yep, he does have it.
Oh, man. There's a chance. CJ is coming back from the depths.
That Whole New World could be game-changing.
It couldn't have been a better Whole New World. Oh, my gosh.
Does John have it? Does John have it? Inking the Pongo. I don't see a Be Prepared in his hand.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, the Elsa, no! Oh, my God.
The Elsa coming in and crushing chat's hopes and dreams, CJ's hopes and dreams.
Oh, no. What a way to stop the game, man! If you're CJ, that's gotta break your heart. That's just gotta be so rough because it's there. You have it. You literally have it in the bag. He can't answer everything. That was lethal. Oh my! He didn't have any other removal. That's crazy. Oh, John, how could you?
Oh no.
Oh man, that was a monster play.
So that's gonna be. This is turn 3.
And CJ knows that there's no way, so I don't know. I doubt that was a concede. I think that was the fifth turn.
Yeah, that's a draw for round number 5 here in the feature match area.
Great matchup. You
Absolutely.
would just love to see those matches finish,
Excellent gameplay from both of these contestants, and sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. When you have two very grindy decks, very rampy decks like this, it's just